Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, a company in Hamden is facing legal actions due to allegedly selling lethal injections to the government. And more in Hamden regarding news in the education system. Coming back to campus, we have more on the recent talks. Plus, a special feature on one of New Haven's favorite restaurants, Olives and Oil, for New Haven Restaurant Week. All that and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Well, cat's out of the bag. The Q30 Newscast is back for another weekly installment.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. We're back in Studio 125, bringing Quinnipiac students the latest news around campus and the Hamden area.
Now, we're actually going to bring you the latest news coming out of Hamden surrounding some serious accusations.
Yeah, there are claims a local company supplied the federal government and at least one state with a lethal injection drug. All of this started after a late-night show brought more attention to this issue. Joseph Monty has the story.
A Hamden business has been brought to the national spotlight in the last week. Absolute Standards, a chemical company, has been accused of improperly supplying the federal government with lethal injection drugs for the execution of inmates on death row. John Oliver, host of the popular show Last Week Tonight, brought the potential issue to light on April 7th. Wayne Unger, assistant professor of law at Quinnipiac, explained what the Hamden company is accused of doing wrong.
The first issue is that Absolute Standards has made a drug for human consumption without the proper licensing and permits to do so from the federal government.
Oliver claims that his team, through the Freedom of Information Act and confidential sources, obtained information that the Hamden-based company provided the federal government with pentobarbital, the drug commonly used to euthanize pets, was used by the DOJ in 2019 when executions began for federal death row inmates for the first time since 2003. Legal implications could be serious and affect more than just the Hamden company.
The executioners, the people who were involved in the executions, but two, also whether the inmates, those who were executed, whether they had their constitutional rights infringed.
Quinnipiac Law School had a hand in convincing the Connecticut Supreme Court that the death penalty violated the Connecticut state constitution, ending the death penalty in the state in 2015. Unger says that the decision could become relevant in a hypothetical case against Absolute Standards.
There could be reasons provided in that case that would prohibit the manufacturing of drugs used for lethal injection within the state of Connecticut.
Q30 reached out to the Connecticut Attorney General's office for comment. They can confirm that they are looking into the situation. As for Absolute Standards, Q30 reached out to them as well. They did not respond for comment. Reporting from Hamden, Joe Monty, Q30 News.
Thanks, Joe. Hamden schools continue to be struggling to fill open staff positions. An article from the Pat shows the district job openings, which include over 30 teaching and staff roles. These positions range from administrative to in the classroom and even on the athletic fields. For more information on the openings or even to apply, you can visit hamden.org.
It is every child's dream, going to school at a castle, and that's exactly what is coming to a middle school in Hamden. Hamden Hall Day School is looking to convert the castle-like structure on Davis Street into its new middle school. It would house the school's 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. This construction would begin in several months. Robert J. Izzo, the head of schools, said that, quote, "Our castle will be transformed in new classrooms, common gathering areas, and unique education settings, both inside and out."
The university hosted another installment of its Talks on the Rocks series. The event took place at On the Rocks on York Hill and gave seniors and graduate students across all majors the opportunity to have dinner and network. And this Saturday, Quinnipiac will also be hosting an emergency medical services mass casualty simulation exercise from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on the Mount Carmel campus. The goal for the event is to prepare Quinnipiac members on emergency skill response and for the ability to effectively plan and work with outside agencies. Speaking with our weatherman Nick Boyd a little earlier, Saturday isn't shaping up to be the nicest of days, but if you do find yourself walking around Mount Carmel campus and see multiple emergency vehicles and first responders, do not be alarmed. This is most likely a part of the training.
It is that point of the year where time is running out in the school year, but students have plenty of meal points left over. Because of that, Quinnipiac Dining is offering students changes to buy in bulk. On Mount Carmel and York campuses, students can find pallets of beverages to buy. You can either purchase the bulks in person or online. The last day to place an order is May 3rd at noon. Well, Ben, it's about that time. We have to take our first commercial break. It is about 9:37, so it is about that time.
But don't worry, because when we return, we'll have the latest on a huge event happening on campus, plus the big event.
But first, Nicholas Boyd is here to give us a quick 3-day forecast.
Thanks, guys. We're here for the 3-day forecast today. It's been pretty cloudy, a little bit of sun earlier in the morning, but cloudy now. A high of 64 with a low of 44. And tonight, it's going to rain a little bit into tomorrow. That rain's going to persist throughout most of the day. It'll be a high of 60 with a low of 49. Kind of the same deal for Friday, a lower chance of rain. You're still going to get a little bit of it, though, with a high of 65, a low of 51, and it's going to be partly cloudy for most of the day. That's all I've got for weather right now, but make sure to stick around after the commercial break for a recap of the university-wide big event, some new health science minors, and all you need to know about politics across the nation.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Hey, hashtag, welcome to my crib tour. You're just in time for our show tonight.
Hollywood News Update is clearly better than New York Minute.
No,
the debates, it's juicy, it's gossip, it's tea.
All right, let's let them settle this. We'll go to the control room. What's up, guys?
We're just getting ready for tonight's show, which, for those who don't know, hashtag that is an e-news style entertainment news show.
It's also a great way to get the latest in all celebrity drama.
That's it for our crib tour. To see more on hashtag that, tune in at Mondays at 7 p.m. at Q30TV.com/watch.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
After months of admitted student stays and tours across campus, Quinnipiac are welcoming a new group of visitors this weekend. The Car Club's annual car show is back on campus and will take place this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 305 Sherman Ave. The event will be host to many unique vehicles and food vendors from the area. Tickets are on sale still and can be purchased at the link on the Car Club's Instagram account.
This past weekend was a day of giving back from Quinnipiac students. The annual big event was held from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. It saw hundreds of current students, faculty, and even alumni helping out over 50 nonprofit organizations. The event stretched all over New Haven County, including Hamden and North Haven.
Now the weather is getting better, which means spring is right around the corner, so do you still have that spring cleaning bug? Well, you're in luck because there is a donation bin at the School of Medicine's for the MSW Clothing Drive. The co-sponsored event with the Graduate Social Work Association will be collecting donations until April 30th.
As many students are beginning to declare their majors and minors, new options are beginning in the School of Health Sciences. 3 new minors are coming to the School of Health Sciences. Health Equity, Human Movement, and Sports Medicine will be available to students as soon as this upcoming fall. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now to fill out the form to declare any of the 3 minors.
Quinnipiac's own Alec Williams is one of 2 students to be named recently a PA Student of the Year by the Connecticut Academy of Physician Associates. Williams holds multiple leadership positions, including one in the American Academy of Physician Associates and the Student Academy as a chief delegate and as a member of the Student Board of Directors. He planned the PA Student Toy Drive this past Christmas and saw over 2,500 toys donated to children this past season. Williams will graduate from this physician assistant program this year and hopes to work as a PA in the orthopedic trauma surgery area.
Immigration continues to be a pressing issue in many Americans' minds, and nothing changed last night in the Piazza. Over 20 students spent their Tuesday night listening to 4 panel members. The group aimed to provide education to the student body about immigration in the United States. After some time, there were also student-led discussions from people in the audience.
President Biden is in the news today facing his own allegations to potentially lead to impeachment.
That's right, as well as some things going through the House right now to speak on the war over in Ukraine and voter split in new polls as we move closer to November. Q30's Sydney Weimer has the full breakdown in the world of politics.
Thanks, Connor and Ben. The political climate is continuing to heat up as we near closer to election season. President Joe Biden has recently been under hot water as House Republicans are seeking for him to testify in an impeachment hearing. Last Monday, the White House informed House Oversight Chair James Comer that Biden would not accept an invitation for him to testify in an impeachment inquiry hearing. The Republican-led investigation is being widely criticized, with a letter written by special counsel to the president, Richard Saber, to Comer stating, quote, "Your impeachment investigation is over. We decline your invitation for Biden to testify," end quote. Saber claims this investigation is being sparked by false allegations. However, Republicans looking to impeach Biden have been criticizing him for declining to speak on the matter. There has been no evidence of wrongdoing by Biden found by House Republicans, and there is currently not enough votes in the House for the president to be impeached. Continuing on with news from the House, Speaker Mike Johnson has been left unclear about whether or not a vote on a security package for Israel will include aid for Ukraine. On Sunday, Johnson announced that within the next few days, the House would vote on aid for Israel, further suggesting that Ukraine should be included in the legislation. The proposal from Johnson follows recent attacks from Iran on Israel this past weekend, forcing him to make an abrupt decision on whether or not to also send aid to Ukraine in the form of a zero-interest loan. Johnson's suggestion follows inconsistent patterns of support from Congress to both countries, as Johnson has previously refused a $95 billion package, including aid for Israel and Ukraine, which was initially passed by the Senate. The House plans to vote on a bill later this week determining whether or not Ukraine will be included in any way and any aid sent to Israel. Last but certainly not least, data suggests that voters in America are now more evenly split than ever between the two major political parties. As we head into the 2024 election, a Pew Research Center analysis found that when deciding between the two parties, 49% of current voters now identify as Democrat or Democrat-leaning, while 48% of voters identify as Republican or Republican-leaning. This differs from numbers over previous years, as leading up to the 2020 election, 5% more of American voters identified as Democrat than Republican. Democrats remain to be the popular party for both minority and young voters, while the Republican Party continues to hold majority support among rural populations. The potential rematch between Trump and Biden this fall will reflect the shift in political landscape among American voters, making the race even closer than it was in 2020. Ben and Connor, do you plan to vote in this coming election?
Yeah, thanks for those stories, Sydney. Ben, I do plan on voting. It is going to have to be an absentee ballot because the voting is always on Tuesdays, and I think I have class right there, thanks to our journalism professors. But are you planning on voting this in November?
So, I'm in luck. I'm graduating, so I will finally get to have that in-person voter experience that I've never experienced before. So I'm very excited. But unfortunately, we're going to head to a break. But after the break, we're going to have Nick back in studio to have the full weather breakdown.
And this past weekend, the M&T Bank Arena was absolutely rocking, but it wasn't an athletic performance performing. We'll take you a look as the party was going, and the final week of classes are approaching.
What's that? I can't hear you, little girl. You're gonna have to speak up.
Well, if you keep yelling, you're not going to be able to hear anything at all.
Is this a part of the show?
Can we turn the heat up? It's like an icebox in here.
I'm gonna need you guys to turn it down a little bit. I'm clearly in the middle of a show here.
A show? I thought this was a eulogy.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Well, our weather wizard, Nick Boyd, is in studio to give us the full forecast. Nick, I'm hearing a little too much of rain for my liking.
Yeah, Nick, please tell us that these April showers that we're having are going to bring May flowers.
Now, Connor, quick, if you're the weather wizard, Nick Boyd, what are you predicting? Let's play a little guessing game.
Yeah.
I looked at it a little bit before.
So did I. I did as well.
Are we expecting good golf weather coming up this weekend?
I think this weekend we're expecting it not as much, but definitely Monday. I don't want to give everything away because that's what we have Nick for, but I think that Monday is going to be a beautiful day to play some golf. So we're going to have to move on from the weather right now, but Michael Katz-Flynn is in the studio for our latest national news update. Michael, I hear Colorado are taking steps to lower wildfire risk. Can you tell us more?
Certainly. The U.S. power grid is facing increasing strain from climate-driven disasters, causing power grid failures in various states over the past decade. On April 5th and 6th, Colorado Power Company, XL, marked the first shutoff for the state. The state shut down the grid due to its inability to store electricity. State regulations are now investigating the shutoff with the goal of proposing better procedures for future shutoffs. Authorities in Nevada are seeking the public's help in identifying 2 individuals damaging ancient rock formations at Lake Mead. The footage shows 2 men pushing sandstone off on an outcropping near the Redstone Dune Trail. Park officials warn that such destruction is irreparable and may lead to charges. The area affected is a popular tourist destination. Park officials rely on the public to report suspicious activities. Lastly, an organization representing over 2,000 news publishers is urging federal agencies to investigate Google for removing links to California-based news outlets. Google's action was in response to a proposed law that would compel tech companies to pay for news content. Google's move prompted concerns about its potential legal implications. The Alliance criticized Google for lack of transparency regarding the impact and duration of the link removals. Google's decision could infringe on various laws, emphasizing the need for government intervention. A Google spokesperson dismissed the claims as unfounded. That's all in national news. Let's head back to Ben and Connor at the desk.
Thanks, Michael. Now, Connor, did you hear that?
No, wait.
Wake up, because Wake the
sorry.
Giant was back this past weekend. Full ride graced the makeshift stage on Sunday night alongside A-list celebrity Oya Baby. And let me tell you, this concert just feels right. Students across campus had a good feeling this was going to be a special concert, and I think I can speak for everyone when I say I don't like it, I love it. Performing some of his hit songs while also donning the jersey of the men's ice hockey team, this concert was surely one to remember.
Now, Ben, you were there for the concert. I got to ask, what was if you had to pick one of all the awesome moments, what had to be your favorite moment real quick?
I alluded to it before, but it was I don't like it, I love it. It was a phenomenal song. I didn't realize Flo Rida also produced most of the songs in Pitch Perfect, which made me very happy. But Connor, if you could pick a moment really quickly, your favorite as well.
Yeah, I think it's got to be My House when he performed it. Such a classic song right there, but it's very good script writing with you that you don't like it, you love it.
Now, I love all this entertainment talk, and we're actually going to keep in the world of entertainment to discuss the passing of a famed athlete and actor.
Elizabeth Ippolito has the latest entertainment update on the O.J. Simpson, the latest on the Rust incident, and Olivia Rodrigo. What's the word, Liz?
Thanks, Connor and Ben. There is so much news straight out of Hollywood this week. O.J. Simpson, a former football player and actor, has passed away at age 76. Simpson passed away on April 10th, almost a year after announcing his diagnosis of prostate cancer. Simpson's family took to X, saying, quote, "On April 10th, our father, Orenthal James Simpson, succumbed to his battle with cancer. He was surrounded by his children and grandchildren during this time of transition. His family asks you please respect their wishes for privacy and grace," end quote. Simpson had a very successful athletic career playing in the National Football League for the San Francisco 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. In 1994, Simpson was accused of murdering his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman. Often referred as the trial of the century, the case had Americans in the mid-1990s glued to their TVs. Moving on Monday, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, a former armorer for the film Rust, was sentenced to 18 months in prison for involuntary manslaughter. Gutierrez-Reed was accused and convicted of loading a live round into the gun that actor Alec Baldwin accidentally fired, killing the cinematographer Helena Hutchins in October of 2021 on the film set in New Mexico. Santa Fe judge Mary Sommer delivered the verdict Monday, making Gutierrez-Reed the first to be convicted of the death of Hutchins. Judge Sommer said, quote, "You were the armorer, the one that stood between a safe weapon and a weapon that could kill someone, but for you, Miss Hutchins would be alive. A husband would have his partner and a little boy would have his mother," end quote. Finally, with Coachella 2024 in full swing, Olivia Rodrigo reuniting with band No Doubt for a performance of their hit song, Bathwater. No Doubt split in 2015, but they dusted off the cobwebs for their performance in this year's Coachella. The band held a sub-headline slot in the festival that the past has been held by Calvin Harris and Swedish House Mafia. No Doubt brought out Rodrigo, whose music is heavily inspired by the band and their punk rock influence. The performance has gone viral on all platforms. That's all for this week in entertainment news, but Connor and Ben, who has been your favorite artist at this year's Coachella?
Now, last year I was really disappointed with Coachella because of Frank Ocean's whole performance, but this year I was very excited. Tyler, the Creator, took the stage, and he had a bunch of A-list celebrities with him: Childish Gambino, A$AP Rocky, Kali Uchis. So I think he put on a real show for the ages.
Yeah, for me, seeing and watching that event, it had to have been DJ Snake. He's always such a very good performer, very good DJ. So I was very happy to see how he performed throughout this week. But coming up after the short break, we'll check out all the Quinnipiac sports scene.
Now, there's a lot of sports happening, but it was also Restaurant Week in New Haven County. We checked in with a local restaurant and why it is one of the local favorites for Quinnipiac students alike. We'll be right back.
Meet the scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
They are not going to win.
Yes, they are. They're going to win in Placid.
When's the last time they won?
Do you like debating sports with your friends? Just because it was in 2016 doesn't mean they can't win it this season.
That's a long time ago. They're not.
And all things Quinnipiac athletics. And after that, then they're going to win at the NCAA tournament.
No, they are.
Yes,
not.
they are. Then Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you.
Tune in every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m.
Online at Q30TV.com/watch.
We're the home for all things sports debate.
Miss the action? We've got you. Every team, every game. In-depth coverage, all the access, and of course, all the action.
No doubt about it.
In isolation, and goes backhand toss up. Scoop layup with 3 seconds remaining. He hits the game winner. Knock, knock. Who's there? Nobody. Vinny Duplessis sends it right back.
This is Sports Pause, Monday nights at 9:30, only on Q30 Television.
Connor, have you ever been to Stop and Shop and the other thing, I can't believe it's not butter? Well, let me tell you. I can't believe this show's not butter. It's actually the Q30 Newscast, and we're back with the latest sports update featuring a few performances from teams across campus that were smooth like butter.
Yeah, and also the oldest college basketball player in the entire country will be spending another year in Hamden. Q30's Eli Ehlers is in studio to give us the latest news around Quinnipiac athletics.
Thanks, Ben and Connor. Let's get right into it. Savion Lewis is back. The guard will be returning to Hamden for a 7th season. He was a crucial part of the basketball team this year, leading them to a regular season MAC championship. The Dix Hill, New York native started in every game this year in the blue and gold. He was an assist machine this year, finishing second in the NCAA with 248. Lewis will look to make a push towards a MAC championship and a dance in March Madness next year, with 4 of the 5 starters staying at Lender Court for one more go-round. Moving to the turf, this past weekend, the baseball team had a 3-game series with the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Friday was a high-scoring game. Heading into the 5th inning, the game looked to be over with NJIT up 5-1. But in the 7th inning, Quinnipiac's bats came alive. The team ended up winning the game 12-7. On Saturday, they traveled down I-95. The game was a rubber match, with the Highlanders collecting a 3-2 win in the 10th inning. Sunday was back in Hamden with the Bobcats getting themselves back in the win column with a 5-3 win. The team now turns their focus to Canisius for a 3-game home series. Switching back to the courts, but the sport with rackets in your hand. Both men's and women's tennis had matches with a regular season championship banner on the line against in-state rival Fairfield. On Monday, the women's team traveled to Fairfield. The doubles matches were intense. The team ended up losing 4-1 to the Stags. On Tuesday, the men's team hit the road to try to take down Fairfield. The doubles match of the day was Finn Burridge and Carlos Broncimo, who lost 10-8 in extra sets. Fairfield took the regular season championship with a final score of 4-3. Both teams will now head down to New Jersey for the MAC championships this weekend. That's all I have for sports this week. Ben and Connor, do you think the tennis teams will be coming back to Hamden with some hardware?
Yeah, thanks, Eli. It's always good to see a team dominate on campus and throughout an entire conference, and that is the definition of women's tennis right now, winning the last 6 of 8 MAC tournaments. And really, the only years that they've lost, one of them was during COVID. So nobody actually won that year, but I do expect them to bring another year of hardwood, give you the three-peat for women's tennis, and expect them, obviously, to make the NCAA tournament.
They say I can't relate everything back to soccer, but Connor, I'm going to do it.
I
think the men's tennis team They've gone 5-1 in the conference, and they obviously lost to Fairfield yesterday, but it's one of the best records they've ever had. They're looking for their first MAC championship, and you look at a team like the women's soccer team, they went on a run after they won that first MAC championship, and I believe that if the men's tennis team can pick up one, then it's just going to be a trickle-down effect, but also playing at home court, it's a big advantage, and that's something that we haven't talked about in a while. There's a lot of talent on this side, and we've actually seen the tennis team's talent, but we now look at other Bobcats talents. The Office of Residential Life is hosting their annual Bobcats Got Talent show this Friday at 7 p.m. in Buckman Theater. Prizes will be handed out for the first, second, and third place talent.
New Haven County held its annual restaurant week. The city of New Haven has plenty of dining options. Q30's Julia Barcello went down to the Elm City to check out one of Quinnipiac students' favorites.
This is a special week for various restaurants across New Haven. Yale New Haven Health is presenting the annual New Haven Restaurant Week until this Friday, April 19th. This week allows restaurants to welcome customers with set prices for lunch and dinner and even special menus. The popular restaurant Olives and Oil, located on Temple Street, is participating with fixed prices for lunch at $25 and dinner at $55. This is Olives and Oil's 7th year participating.
It's an opportunity for us to get our product in the face of new people, right? Excuse me. For us, the name of the game is Butts and Seats, and that it really drives a lot of traffic to the area. And it's an opportunity for us to put our product in the face of new people otherwise who wouldn't have experienced it.
It really is just a fun event that really broadens who comes into the city, and we're busier all week, and it's really a great, fun atmosphere.
Olives and Oil has also created a special springtime menu just for this week.
This restaurant week, we themed this out. We haven't done that in a long time, so we're super stoked, and we're calling this one Springtime in Sicily. So you're getting these wonderful, vibrant dishes, which are bright in color, and it's just everything's there. So
Ross spoke more about how the theme was chosen this year.
So definitely that is definitely more on the culinary side, which our chefs will do that. But it's kind of, what's trending right now, like what's hot.
A large aspect of Restaurant Week is the attraction of more customers. Ross said part of what he loves about this week is just that.
Interacting with the guests, it's because we're here to create memories, right? So we have become that of a destination place. I love the idea that since we are in such a transient area, we have students who are coming and going, and we've become that place for tons of people.
Ross explained more of the energy in Olives and Oil both during and outside of Restaurant Week.
Probably electric, it becomes contagious, anything that happens. It's just been an electrifying experience. Some big smiles, amazing food, beautiful cocktails, wonderful wine, beginning to end.
This is a great week to take advantage of the various deals across restaurants in New Haven, and a great chance to check out Olives and Oil. Reporting from New Haven, Julie Barcello, Q30 News.
Connor, this weather has not only been incapacitating me from walking around New Haven and grabbing a slice, it's also been not allowing me to golf, and it's something I'm not very happy about right now.
Yeah, Ben, there's been a lot of rain. Nick, our weatherman today, please tell us that all these April showers are going to bring us Mayflowers.
Well, guys, I'm no gardener, but I will be able to tell you what the rest of the week is going to look like. We went over the first 3 days of the forecast already. It's going to rain a little bit tonight into tomorrow. You're going to get those partly cloudy conditions heading into Friday. But moving into the weekend, the rain is going to taper off a little bit. Saturday will be mostly overcast. It'll be kind of moderate temperatures, high of 55, low of 45. On Sunday, the sun is going to peek out a little bit. It'll be partly cloudy during the day, though. High of 67, low of 41. Guys, you're going to love the weekend, though. Monday, it'll be bright, sunny, and warm. It'll be a little chilly in the morning and the evening. High at 78, though, so break out the sunscreen, break out the shorts, get ready to be outside and active. It'll be mostly the same deal for Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 76 and a low of 55. Moving on to the state of Connecticut tomorrow. On the western side of the state and through most of the state, it's going to be pretty rainy. Those winds pushing up from the Long Island Sound going to be bringing rainy, cloudy weather for the next couple days. Torrington with a high of 58, low of 48. Hartford, high of 63, low of 50. Down in Danbury, you'll get a high of 60, low of 49. In New Haven, kind of near us, it'll be a high of 58, low of 48. And in Stamford, it'll be a high of 61, a little warmer than the rest of those cities, low of 48, kind of standard with the rest of them. Over on the eastern portion of the state, you're not going to get any rain. Those two cities, Norwich and New London, both going to stay dry with moderate temperatures. High of 60, low of 48 in Norwich with a high of 57 and a low of 47 in New London. That's all we have for the weather report this week. We'll toss it back to the desk for the rest of the newscast.
You know, Connor, I looked out the windows right above us and I saw some clouds coming in, but I don't think it's the weather coming in. I think it means it's the end of our show.
That is exactly the case, Ben, and I think it's time that we say goodbye to the Q30 Newscast, and especially you as well.
I'll kick this one off.
You might as well.
In the winter of 2020-2021, I was an associate producer of Bobcat Breakdown when an executive producer position opened up on the staff. After one of the best interviews of my young career, I got the phone call that no one wants to hear. I didn't get the position. As a second year, I could have gotten mad about it and completely shut down, but instead, I decided to tell the production manager at the time, David Klepfer, that I'd like to also be considered for the open associate news producer spot instead, and it was the best decision I could have made. While yes, producing 2 shows at one time was an absolute nightmare at some points, it taught me a few things. First off, the importance of local journalism. Never in my life did I think I would be helping write a breaking news story at midnight on my 21st birthday, but I did, and I found a passion for the rush that reporting can give you. And 2, it taught me that when something doesn't go your way, who cares? Everything happens for a reason, and as cliche as it sounds, it very much reigns true. I'd like to thank the news department for welcoming in a kid who can't spell, and there's clearly stuff spelled wrong right in front of me, to an open arms, and I'm excited to see the new heights that this department is going to reach.
Last night on Bobcat Breakdown, I talked about my time as the Q30 president, but I also had to take on the news director role this year. When I initially heard the news last year, I was honestly extremely nervous. Before then, I was just another sports kid from the sports department being asked to do segments and hop on the desk occasionally. As the summer progressed, I became a lot more comfortable with the role, talking daily with executive producers Julia and Andrew. And throughout the year, the entire producing staff and myself have learned how to break news, work on to improve shows each week, and redefine what the news department is. I feel like we've accomplished just that and much more. To all the producers, Julia, Andrew, Keenan, Joe, Sydney, and Ava, thank you for all that you have done to make my news directing experience one to remember. I would be ignorant not to mention Vanessa Blasi as well. Being able to help me through the years and Q-Thon was something you did not have to do, but you did it with open arms and then some. The news department going forward is in great hands, I can promise you that. I know that everyone is going to be all right in the future.